Want to enjoy free-to-air digital TV with crystal clear quality? Here's how to get started with Signet. Step 1. If you have a smart TV, you're good to go. Next, connect the aerial to your TV. Now, do an auto search on your TV. Just follow the prompts on the screen. And that's it. You're now tuned in to Signet. Sit back and enjoy a wide range of free-to-air digital channels. For technical inquiries, call the Signet hotline on 0770 572 656.
Good evening to you. Welcome to Sunday Express. Tonight, one body has been retrieved from the building that collapsed in South Sea in Nairobi. This even as President William Ruto talked staff on the need by government to mop up all illegal firearms, of course, in the wrong hands in the north of Kenya. We have details lined up for you. Welcome to Sunday Express. Here are tonight's highlights.
Wamekipata. Na mimi nataka nitangaze nikiwa hapa. Kila mtu mwenye bado wako na bunduki, na wewe si polisi, na uko na bunduki kwako, my friend, please, harakisha. Lete bunduki.
Woe to you, illegal gun owners. President Ruto says the government will use all resources at its disposal to ensure all illegal guns are surrendered back to the state. The last-minute rush, chaos, fare hike and exorbitant school merchandise prices characterize the last day to school's reopening. Extend the reporting date for grade 10 students. We will tell you why the church wants the reporting date extended by 2 weeks. And ill-fated South Sea building. One body retrieved from the collapsed building. A search for the second victim continues. Byron Abuli is a sign language interpreter. My name is John Jacob Kioria. You're very much welcome to this broadcast. Now, one body has been recovered from the rubble of a collapsed building in South Sea, Nairobi, as search operations enter the final stages. The Cabinet Secretary for Public Service, Geoffrey Ruto, flanked by leaders from Marsabit and Nairobi counties, have assured affected families the government will meet all funeral and medical costs, even as investigations into the cause of the collapsed building nears completion. Meanwhile, Nairobi Governor Johnson Sakaja is demanding the return of prosecutorial powers against rogue developers.
Search teams continued to work day and night at the site of a 14-story building which collapsed in South Sea, Nairobi. With the government saying operations are now about 70% complete, with safety remaining the top priority. Speaking at the site Sunday afternoon, Cabinet Secretary for Public Service Geoffrey Ruto confirmed that one unidentified male adult was recovered this afternoon.
The necessary procedures, including identification and further processing by the relevant authorities, are currently underway in line with the established protocols.
There is another young man down there. I hope and wish in the next maybe an hour or two, that body also should be recovered.
The CS assured Kenyans that the government remains fully committed to accounting for all victims and bringing the operation to a safe conclusion. The government has pledged to meet all mortuary, medical and burial costs for the affected families and warned that anyone found culpable will face the law once investigations are concluded.
Of course, we know there was a stop order as per the August 11 of 2025. We know the Nairobi City government officials came to do supervision sometimes in March, and there is one who was thrown from Dandifro and he broke his leg and he was in hospital for quite some time. All these crimes committed, those who are concerned will pay.
Leaders who accompanied the CS, including Nairobi Women Representative Esther Passaris, called for strict enforcement of building regulations and accountability.
So I would just want to say that as a government, we are giving our best and doing our best through His Excellency, who has even sent his condolences, and we have just passed his message.
To the contractors out there, don't think that this will not happen to your building if you cut corners. And to Nairobi County, I think it's time for the work that you do to be taken a bit more seriously. We cannot have buildings that are marked X that have been condemned a year ago still continuing.
Speaking separately, Nairobi Governor Johnson Sakaja, who also toured the site, defended the county government's role, stating that the building had received statutory approvals but admitted enforcement challenges once developments are approved.
Now, we wrote and I instructed the county secretary in 2023 to write to the Architectural Association, to the Engineers Association, because what happens, some rogue developers, and this could be one of them, they only use the professionals to get an approval. Once you get the approval, anajenga tu na foreman, ongeza hapa, pandisha hapa, badilisha, which is wrong.
He, however, assured residents that the county will push for prosecution of all culpable parties, including developers, contractors, and professionals involved.
We want those prosecutorial powers back. So we'll be, and I've spoken to the DCI, that, let us not have that story. The same thing happened when we were in Kasarani in 2022, where that building collapsed, which had been an enforcement notice. NC had put an X, the county had put an X, they continued building, they would come at night, and that cat and mouse game makes you lose out.
Joseph Ohungu for Sunday Express.
President William Ruto has warned of stern action against those who are still in possession of illegal firearms, directing that they surrender them to the police or church leaders. While in Kerio Valley for an interdenominational Thanksgiving for peace after years of banditry and cattle rustling conflicts, the head of state said the government would use all resources at its disposal to ensure all illegal guns are surrendered back to the state. President Ruto on Sunday joined residents of Chesombor in West Pokot, part of a Kerio Valley, in a Thanksgiving service for peace. The president said he was happy that peace had been restored along the Kerio Valley thanks to the collaboration between the security agencies and residents.
In a very special way, that today in Kerio Valley, we have witnesses, we have testimonies of what God has done through our administration to restore peace, stability, and the unity of the people of this Kerio Valley.
While appreciating the hard work of security agencies in the area, President Ruto noted that consistency, planning and strategy had aided peace restoration, which will now be a catalyst for development, trade and investment.
Mimi nafurahi sasa sehemu hii mambo ya stock theft imeisha. Mimi sasa nawaambia hii Januari tunauza hisa ya kampuni ya Kenya Pipeline. Kujeni sasa mununue shares ile stock exchange. Kwa sababu mmewachana na hii stock theft. Sasa kujeni tufanye stock exchange.
But the president was quick to issue a warning to those still in possession of illegal guns in the area, asserting government's resolve to mop up all firearms in the wrong hands.
Kila mtu mwenye bado wako na bunduki na wewe si polisi, na uko na bunduki kwako, my friend, please, harakisha. Lete bunduki, patia kwa bishop, patia kwa polisi. Usipofanya hivyo, we are going to come for it. Tutakuja kuchukua hiyo bunduki. Na tukikuja kuchukua hiyo bunduki, utakipata.
Hakuna amani itapatikana Kenya, kwa sehemu yote ya Kenya, kama bunduki bado iko katika mkono ya mwananchi ambaye hafai kuwa na bunduki. Hata tukiongea mama ya amani hapa, muniite baraza miangapi. Mimi nimewahi kuwa senator kwa hii region. Haiwezekani kuongea na mtu mwenye ako bunduki.
Boost the peace efforts, the president announced key development projects that include infrastructure development and improved access to water for domestic use and irrigation.
Ile kitu mimi nawauliza viongozi wa hapa na viongozi wa sehemu hii yote, jameni, nawauliza tushirikiane na tufanye kazi pamoja. Interest yetu kama viongozi isizidi interest ya wananchi ambao wametupatia nafasi ya kuwaongoza.
Once more, Ruto tore into the opposition, challenging them to account for years they served in government.
3 things are going to be very important for us to move Kenya forward. Every leader must have, number 1, a track record. Number 2, they must have a plan. And number 3, they must tell us how they are going to achieve it.
Later, President Ruto inspected construction works on the 15 billion shillings worth Barpelo-Tot-Marich Pass Road. Back to the city. After days of quiet streets and closed shops, Nairobi is coming back to life again. The festive calm is giving way to familiar rhythms of walking city as commuters, traders and families ease back into their routine. From bus stages to school supply shops, the message is clear. The holiday is over and normalcy is returning. Aaron Marie visited different sectors and compiled this report.
At one of Nairobi's busiest bus terminals, travelers are ready to their normal routines as they return to the city from upcountry. The crowds are smaller compared to the festive rush, but the urgency is unmistakable. Passengers say the mood has shifted to calmer and more organized as people refocus on work, school, and the responsibilities of the new year.
Kulingana na services hapa, fare imerudi tu normal. Gari zinabeba tu according to the capacity yenye inahitajika. Hakuna inconveniences ziko mali. So, sisi tuko tu sawa.
Drivers and transport operators confirm the transition. Traffic volumes are rising steadily, and with more vehicles returning to the roads, they are urging fellow drivers to prioritize safety over speed. This comes as authorities warn that the post-holiday travel period remains risky.
Ningeongea kwa madereva wenzangu. Haijalishi ni kampuni gani, lakini tukue waangalifu barabarani kwa sababu wengine hawako waangalifu. Na ningeomba ndio tuweze ku maintain customers wetu.
Sasa hata magari mabovu, biashara ikinoga, huwa tu wanaweka magari barabarani. Mtu mwingine pia anahesabu zile ruti ameenda. Sasa hata mtu amechoka hajapumzika, ana lazima tena apangiwe ruti nyingine aende. Hizo ndio husababisha maisha kupotea mengi, maana uchovu wa mwili na uchovu wa magari hayapati muda wa kuenda kwa service.
But not everyone is smiling. Along Nairobi streets, photographers and informal traders say business has slowed sharply as priorities shifted.
Last year festive season was amazing. People spend a lot of money, but when it came to January, I don't know, ni sola ama ni mfuko imekata, but everything will be good.
Hapa sahi nao kumekauka, unaona watu wanajipanga issue na school fees. Ndio msimamisha anafikiria apige picha ama ni school fees. Hata vile wanarudi hivi sahi hakuna mboga. Unaona tumetulia tu.
In shopping areas, parents move quickly through crowded stores, buying uniforms, books, and stationery. With schools reopening, many say finances are stretched, but hope remains high that the year ahead will bring stability.
Rushing, so the price has to be a bit up. compared to last year. So maybe even if I can tell the other parents, it's always good to do things earlier rather than the rush hour.
Business owners describe a slow but steady return to normal trading after the festive peak in early January lull.
Tuna expect biashara yetu anze kufungua kuanzia next week on Wednesday. Ndio itaanza kufungua. Lakini sasa hii wakati wa rush, sasa hii ni wakati wa wazazi wanachukua viatu za shule.
Outside of Nairobi, major highways and bus terminals across the country are experiencing increased activities. As December holiday activities come to an end, a surge in travelers has been recorded nationwide. In Mombasa and other major towns, passengers have thronged bus stations only to face vehicle shortages, double fares and long waiting hours, piling pressures on families already grappling with tough economic conditions.
Hii usafiri imekuwa ghali sana kwa sasa. Kwa maana tunaona kama juzi travel kutoka Kitale hadi hapo, unaona ni 4,000. Kwa mwananchi hiyo ni bei ghali sana.
Tulikuwa tuondoke saa 8:15, kwa sasa gari hajafika na itafika kuchelewa. Tunaomba tu waende kwa mwendo pole, wasilete ajali barabarani.
Transport operators say they are taking steps to enhance safety, ensuring vehicles are roadworthy and drivers are well rested. Some travelers have praised NTSA and police road safety campaigns, noting their visible presence in highways. As the festive season comes to an end, the city is slowly coming back to normal. Reporting for Sunday Express, I'm Aaron Marie.
And tomorrow it comes back to even bigger when it comes to issues of normalcy, because the education sector again resumes tomorrow, with students expected to report to school in some public schools, and it will get even busier. And we have more stories regarding the education sector and what the parents are saying, but don't go too far. We're coming back with more news.
Unajua the first rule of hospitality,
wakati mwingine ni vizuri kuangalia.
Wacha kuita mimi kama toka.
Wacha kunigonga kala nguvu bwana, unaniumiza. Kamba unanifurudia nini?
Peleka kisirani yako huko. Wewe, ni nani unazungumanisha hivyo?
Tuungane na mimi bwana. Ati? Si nilikoteza hii michezo ya watoto, waacha bwana.
Unapika, unashiba, Lea Premium.
Lea Premium Flour, nurturing the world. Available in a store near you.
It's a secret.
Secret? Come on, tell me.
What exactly are you doing? Just go, okay? It's an important thing. Go on, go on.
I tell you gotta cut it out with all the secrets you have.
Unajua hata kama ningekumbuka, wengine hawatakumbuka.
Hicho si kisingizio.
Hey, we'll get there. The whole team is behind you. Relax, honey.
I'll tell him when the time is right.
Welcome back. The All Saints Cathedral and Provost Evan Somolo has called upon the government to consider extending reporting dates for grade 10 learners by 2 weeks. The provost says the church has received numerous complaints by congregants who say they need more time to navigate the uncertainties around the placement. Some of the parents have complained of female learners being placed in boys' schools and vice versa, hence the need to apply for further review.
The inaugural grade 10 class is set to report to the respective senior schools on the 12th of January 2026 for the start of the academic year. However, the uncertainty surrounding placement to schools has caught the attention of the church, with the clergy now intervening on behalf of parents.
There has been quite a lot of problems
in the placement of students joining grade 10 around issues of boys placed in girls' schools and girls placed in boys' schools and others placed in locations that are undesirable or difficult for the parents to manage.
Provost Omolo is urging the Ministry of Education to consider extending the reporting dates for grade 10 to give parents and learners more time to get placement for their children and adequately prepare.
The CS for Education considers extending the period for reporting of grade 10 pupils by, at best, 2 more weeks to allow parents to navigate the murky waters of placement and switching of schools.
The Ministry of Education had announced that the window for further review of placement will be reopened from the 6th to 9th of January 2026.
We want to ask the Cabinet Secretary to further consider re-evaluating and redesigning the process of managing requests for replacements to other schools, which unfortunately is being done on the portal, which is jammed, is not working, declining. If in the interim, to manage the ongoing crisis, head teachers and heads of institutions could be allowed to make those changes when parents go to apply for replacements that would then mitigate the crisis we have.
According to a statement by the Ministry of Education on the 30th of December 2025, a total of 355,457 learners had applied for review of placement. Out of this number, 211,636 applications were approved. However, 143,821 were declined due to a number of reasons, including absence of preferred subject combinations or the lack of capacity in the selected schools. Nancy Okware, Sunday Express.
Staying on that beat, most parents in Kajiado County are struggling to raise school fees and other necessities, with their livestock unable to fetch good prices due to decreased purchasing power. Some of the parents who appeared at markets in the area with their livestock lamented that the prices have dropped from the previous 100,000 shillings for a mature cow to as low as 20,000 shillings. They attribute the situation to the long droughts in the area and a rise in the cost of living.
This is one of the livestock markets in Kajiado County. Livestock farmers are here to sell their livestock in anticipation to the reopening of schools this Monday. But the situation has left them distressed.
Tunapofungua shule, tunalia kama wazazi. Tunalia kwa sababu ng'ombe ndio tegemeo la wakaaji wa Kajiado. Lakini kwa msimu kama hii shule zikifunguliwa, tunalia maana bei iko chini na itabaki kwamba watoto wengi hawataweza kwenda shule.
Hatujui kama watoto wataenda shule. Watoto hawawezi enda shule juu mang'ombe ziko chini, bei kumechuka kabisa, kiangazi natusumbua. Kwa hivyo hatuoni kama watoto wataweza fungua shule tarehe 5 ndio inafunguliwa kesho.
The persistent drought and poor purchasing power due to the high cost of living has pushed down the prices of a mature cattle from a whooping of 100,000 shillings to only around 20,000 shillings.
Tuko hapa sokoni na vile tunavyoshuhudia mambo ya soko haiendi vile, maana bei ya ng'ombe imeteremka kabisa. Haswa siku ya leo unaiona kwamba wanunuzi hawako katika soko.
Wakati ilikuwa na kiangazi nilikuwa na ng'ombe 46. Sasa zimekufa na kiangazi, imebaki na ng'ombe 17. Sasa ninaona ni mbaya wakati huu kwa sababu hata ile bei ambayo nilikuwa natarajia kuuza haiendi.
Concerns have also been raised about a drop in learners resuming studies, with the pastoralist communities having relocated to neighboring counties in search of pasture and water. The parents are now calling on the Ministry of Education to reduce the fees in public schools.
Langu la kwa serikali ninaomba waangalie wananchi kwa sababu area ni mbaya. Biashara ni mbaya, wananchi wanaumia, watoto wanaenda shule, kilio, kwa hivyo naomba serikali waangalie area.
Tilio Marco for Sunday Express.
And as the back-to-school season kicks off, more than 50 mothers from Kayole and Savannah Estates in Nairobi are breathing a sigh of relief after receiving school shoes for their children from a well-wisher. The mothers say the donation has eased the financial burden of preparing for children for the new school term, especially given the high cost of basic commodities. They noted that the support will allow their children to return to school with confidence and dignity.
Wazazi wangangane penye pamebakia. Najua ni kidogo mno, lakini mimi kama mama mwenye nishasomesha na bado ninasomesha, najua hata kuanza hii safari si rahisi. Na walimu pia wale walisomesha watoto wakae karibu na wazazi waelewi hii syllabus inaenda aje.
Ametubaia viatu na rangi watoto wasome. Tunashukuru sana. Juu si rahisi. Maisha imekuwa ngumu, hata hiyo school fee kupata kufunza watoto ni shida.
Kama single mother, mtoto wangu ameitwa national school na fee ilikuwa inanilemea plus na kufanya shopping. Na nashukuru sana.
Napendelea kwamba wamama wote waweze kushikana, tuweze kufanikisha watoto ili waweze kusoma kulingana na mama vile anavyotuelekeza, tuweze kusaidiana pamoja.
An impeached former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has called on the Kenya Kwanza administration to address the high cost of living currently witnessed in the country. Speaking at the IECA Kiratina Church in Githunguri, Gachagua urged the head of state to put proper measures to ensure the economy is stable. He at the same time urged the government to address the numerous challenges facing the education sector in the country. He revealed that the education sector has been marred by confusion, urging the Ministry of Education to put its house in order.
Tunaongea leo pesa ya capitation ya last year mashule haikupata. Mashule yote iko na madeni. Maprincipal wamesema simu kwa sababu ya kusumbuliwa na suppliers. Tunaenda hii January hakuna pesa ya capitation. Minister anasema iko kama hajapeana ya last year ni mwaka huu atapeana. Ile watoto wamemaliza grade 9. Vijana amepita. Anakuwa admitted shule ya day, yeye anatoka hapa Kiambu. Anawekwa day school Kericho. Mtoto mwingine msichana amealikwa shule ya vijana. Mwai Kibaki alichaguliwa 2002 akatutengenezea free primary education. Uhuru Kenyatta akakuja 2013 day secondary school ikakuwa ni free.
Uongozi ni Mungu anatupatia, lakini nayo tukichezea huyo uongozi vile ambavyo naona watu wameanza kuchezea hiyo uongozi, lazima tupigane, tuchukue hiyo uongozi, turudishe hii nchi mahali ambapo inafaa kuenda.
To road safety matters, now in the National Transport and Safety Authority, NTSA has launched a major crackdown along the Nairobi-Eldoret Highway to tame road accidents on Kenyan roads. The operation being carried out in conjunction with traffic police officers in Western Gishu County is targeting speeding, reckless overtaking, driver fatigue and unlicensed motorists. 25 vehicles have been impounded for overspeeding, including 18 private cars whose drivers are expected to appear in court.
According to NTSA, nearly 80% of accidents on Kenyan roads are as a result of human error. About 13 lives have been lost on Kenyan roads in the new year. It is probably on this premise that the National Transport and Safety Authority has deployed officers alongside traffic police at Dry's Junction on the Nairobi-Eldoret Highway as part of a coordinated road safety operation.
Madereva wengine hawana driving licenses, zingine hawana classes za hiyo license kwa sababu kama unaendesha gari 33 seater unafaa kuwa na license class D3. Kama ni 14 seater unafaa kuwa na D1. Kama mpaka 32 unafaa kuwa na D2, especially PSVs. So hiyo ndio kazi tunafanya. Pia trucks, tumeona trucks zina overspeed, tunaangalia kwa system because hatuwezi piga mguu juu. tunaangalia kwa system, tunaangalia data transmission, na kama ziko na issue tuna prohibit hiyo gari.
Speaking during the operation, NTSA Deputy Director Wilson Tigon said careless overtaking, speeding and driving without adequate rest continue to endanger lives on major highways.
We cannot regulate behavior ya binadamu ama morality ya binadamu. Kama unaona ufai overtake gari in a continuous yellow line, why should you overtake? Because you are endangering. Ama una overtake gari kama 5, most likely unaweza kutana na lori na ziweze kuleta shida. So as the students go back to school, as members of the public go back to their places of work, ninawasi my drivers wakuwe careful kwa barabara kwa sababu tunabeba maisha. One life lost is too many lives.
25 vehicles have been impounded for speeding, including 18 private vehicles whose drivers are expected to appear in court.
Kwa hiyo overspeeding nyingi ni magari za private vehicles. Na tungependa kuwajulisha pia hao ambaye ni madereva ambaye wanaendesha hizi private vehicles wazingatie sheria. Waangalie, wasome kibao, kama ni mahali imeandikwa 50 waende na hiyo 50. Kwa sababu kuna umuhimu kwa nini iliwekwa 50. Ndio tuweze kudumisha usalama barabarani sisi wote.
Road safety advocate says stricter enforcement is necessary, noting that more than 5,000 Kenyans lost their lives in road accidents last year. They are calling for sustained police presence on highways and tighter regulation of speed governor vendors to ensure devices are properly installed and functioning.
Kwa hivyo kama unajua gavana zako haukuweka vizuri, tuliwaambia mfanye recall. Hizi gari zikiendelea hivi, tunaomba NTSA sasa wakuwe sasa tough. Si tuache historia kusema tunazunguka tuna blame NTSA, tuna blame polisi na sisi wenyewe hatufanyi kazi ile inastahili. Ukizunguka sana uangalie kama sehemu nimetembea. Mishipi, safety belts zile zinawekwa si za standard.
While some drivers welcomed the crackdown, saying it promotes safety on the roads, passengers expressed frustration over delays caused by the inspections.
Mimi nilitoka Nairobi nikaenda nyumbani Western. Leo ndio ilikuwa siku yangu ya kurudi. So nimerudi, tumefika hapa, tumesimamishwa. So niko stranded, niko na familia yangu hapa. Sijui nifanye nini. Kwa sababu nastahili niwafikishe Nairobi on time. Ni prepare mtoto anaenda shule on Monday na niko naye hapa.
Natoka pande ya Kuisero. Kwa tumeenda Matanga. Sasa ndio tumetoka huko. Tumesimamishwa hapa kutoka saa 3 na watoto wafaa waende shule. Huyo afaa kuingia shule ikifika jioni saa 10 hataingia.
NTSA says the enforcement will continue as part of a wider efforts to reduce accidents and save lives on Kenyan roads. Ben Chumba, Sunday Express.
Things about you that I wouldn't have imagined. It wouldn't surprise me if I found out something else.
I need to know the truth. Was that the reason? Was it because you found out that there had been something between Marcelo and my mother?
Do you really think your mother would be capable of doing that?
He knows about her. Ricardo Marquez already knows that Letty is his daughter.
Unajua the first rule of hospitality?
Wakati mwingine vizuri kuangalia.
Wacha kuita mimi kama toka.
Wacha kunigonga kala nguvu bwana, unaniumiza. Kamba unanifurutia nini?
Peleka kisirani yako huko. Wewe, ni nani unazugumanisha hivyo?
Tuungane na mimi bwana. Ati? Sini nilikoteza hii michezo ya watoto waacha bwana.
Tusikosane na vitu ndogo ndogo tafadhali. Waenga wanasema.
Gawa waenga walituajia namba ya simu. Anita badali yake kwa nini umenifuta kazi?
Jamani.
Welcome back. You're still watching Sunday Express. Premature birth remains one of the biggest challenges in newborn care. In Migori County, however, public hospitals are recording encouraging outcomes as specialized neonatal care helps babies born too soon to beat the odds. Aaron Murray again now reports on how these tiny fighters are being given a fighting chance.
In maternity wards across Migori County, the cry of a newborn often signals joy and relief. But for babies born too soon, life begins in a fragile balance between survival and uncertainty.
Watoto walipotesha ilikuwa mbele yake watoto 3 hivyo. Miezi 9, miezi 8, miezi 7. Sasa ilikuwa ya 4. Sasa hii Mungu naye amenisaidia hivyo tu. Akakuwa sawa. Daktari naye akaendelea mzuri, katavyo mzuri kabisa. Sasa iko sawa tu.
Premature babies, some weighing less than 2 kilograms, are immediately placed under specialized neonatal care. Hospitals across the country have strengthened newborn units equipped to support underdeveloped lungs, regulate body temperature, and prevent infections.
Tangu tulipoanza niseme mwaka 2023, umbali huu tumeweza kuwahudumia watoto niseme preterm babies, term babies 800 kwa wakati huu.
Incubators, monitored feeding programs, and round-the-clock observation form the foundation of care as doctors and nurses closely track each baby's progress.
Incubators zipo, tuna resuscitators, tuna the CPAP kwa wale ambao kupumua kwao ni tatizo. Caffeine ipo, na pia huduma ya kwanza ya resuscitation ambayo tunasema ni newborn resuscitation, tumeipa kipaumbele sana sababu ndo nguzo kuu kwa hawa wadogo.
For mothers, the journey is often emotional and uncertain.
Nilizaa nikiwa na 28 weeks. Nilikuwa na infections ya UTI ndo ilisababisha nikapata mtoto mapema.
The lowest weight that we have ever recorded of surviving premature in Migori is 600 grams baby who survived. And I once met the mother outside the street and she was very happy to show us the baby. The baby started, by the time I was meeting them, the baby was in PP1.
But many describe the care they receive as life-saving. Through skin-to-skin contact and exclusive breastfeeding, mothers play an active role in stabilizing their babies and promoting growth.
Hapa nilikaa 1 month 2 days na sasa mtoto ako na kilo 7.2 na sababu ya mtoto kutoka mapema waliniambia eti maybe ilikuwa juu ya family planning yenye nilikuwa natumia kitambo.
At Migori County Referral Hospital, clinicians are also raising an alarm over social factors linked to premature birth.
Migori, we have issue with the teenage pregnancy. Migori is one of the counties in Kenya with a lot of teenage pregnancy. So these teenage mothers, most of them, they are school going, so they don't attend antenatal clinic. So by the time they come to delivery, you find that a mother maybe had only attended antenatal clinic once or twice, or at the time of delivery.
Kina mama wote wanahimizwa kwenda kwa kliniki pindi unapogundua una ujauzito ili kuzuia ile prematurity ama mtoto kuja kwa mapema kwa wakati ambao haukuwa umetarajiwa. Pale ndo tutagundua kuna danger signs kwa huyu mama. Danger signs ikiwemo pressure. Utampata kwa wakati mwingine kuna mama hakuwa na pressure lakini pindi amepata ujauzito pressure inapanda. Zile UTIs during pregnancy, utapata huyu mama amefanya screening ya UTI, screening ya pressure, screening ya sugar. Wakati huu pia tunaangalia mambo ya kisukari, tunaangalia hepatitis, STIs, tunaangalia hizo gonorrhea, tunaangalia syphilis, zisije zikatupa ile preterm ama premature delivery.
Before discharge, premature babies must meet strict criteria, including stable feeding, temperature control, and consistent weight gain. Mothers are also cancelled and enrolled in postnatal clinics to ensure continued care at home. For every premature baby who survives, there is a story of vigilance, skill, and compassion. In Migori, those tiny fighters are providing that with dedicated care, even the smallest life can overcome the odds. Reporting for Sunday Express, I'm Aaron Marie.
Further afield, Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro is in custody at a New York detention center after being captured during a large-scale U.S. military operation Saturday. This as Washington signals it will take control of Venezuela's transition and oil infrastructure.
In a dramatic and unprecedented escalation of tensions between Washington and Caracas, Venezuela's President Nicolas Maduro and First Lady Celia Flores are being held at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, New York City, after they were captured in Caracas during U.S. strikes on Saturday. With U.S. authorities confirming he will face long-lasting drug trafficking and weapons-related charges, which he has previously denied.
But captured along with his wife, Celia Flores, both of whom now face American justice. Maduro and Flores have been indicted in the Southern District of New York, it's Jay Clayton, for their campaign of deadly narco-terrorism against the United States and its citizens. I want to thank the men and women of our military who achieved such an extraordinary success overnight, with breathtaking speed, power, precision, and competence.
President Donald Trump said the United States will temporarily run Venezuela to ensure a safe, proper, and judicious transition, including overseeing the country's oil sector.
All Venezuelan military capacities were rendered powerless as the men and women of our military, working with U.S. law enforcement, successfully captured Maduro in the dead of night. We're going to run the country until such time as we can do a safe, proper, and judicious transition. So we don't want to be involved with having somebody else get in, and we have the same situation that we had for the last long period of years. So we are going to run the country until such time as we can do a safe, proper, and judicious transition. And it has to be judicious, because that's what we're all about. We want peace, liberty, and justice for the great people of Venezuela, and that includes many from Venezuela that are now living in the United States and want to go back to their country. It's their homeland. We can't take a chance that somebody else takes over Venezuela that doesn't have the good of the Venezuelan people in mind.
The remarks have fueled accusations from Caracas that Washington's true motive is control of Venezuela's vast oil reserves, claims that the U.S. officials have rejected. Even as Venezuela declared a state of national emergency, deployed its military, and vowed to defend its sovereignty while condemning what it termed military aggression.
Got the fear of missing out? Want to keep up with all the latest entertainment news and latest celebrity gossip? From the latest rumors to popping events to the newest fashion trends, here is where you get all the tea or juice when it comes to entertainment, and you get it served on time. All that and so much more on Grapevine every single Monday only on KBC Channel 1. Remember, if you did not see it on Grapevine, then it most probably never happened.
Time for us now to get sporty. Some good news here. Kenya tennis star Angela Okutoi produced a stunning performance on home soil to win the ITF W35 Nairobi title after after defeating Italy's Martina Colmegna 6-3, 3-6 and 6-3 in a pulsating final played on Sunday. Roared on by a vocal home crowd, the 21-year-old Kenyan, a former junior Grand Slam champion, made a confident start by breaking Colmegna's serve twice to take the opening set 6-3. Colmegna, however, responded strongly in the second set, raising her level and exploiting unforced errors from the Kenyan to claim the set 6-3 and force a decider. In the decisive third set, Okutoi mixed depth with well-timed winners to keep Colmegna at bay before sealing the match at 6-3.
Of course, this match is one of my goals. I wanted to win this match so bad because I've always lost in the finals, especially in the 25K. So this match, I just told myself to go play my best, and that's what I did, and I'm just happy for the win. And I was also doing for my aunt Cynthia.
Tough match. She's a very good player, and she played very good. I didn't play my best, but was tough in this condition with all the people against you. But anyway, it was a good match.
And Mali booked their place in the quarterfinals of the CAF Africa Cup of Nations 2025 after defeating Tunisia 3-2 on penalties after the two sides played out to a 1-1 draw in regular time. Meanwhile, Pep Gueye struck twice as former champions Senegal came from behind to beat Sudan 3-1 and book their place in the quarterfinals.
Special goal from the teenager.
Meanwhile, Mali booked their place in the quarterfinals after defeating Tunisia 3-2 on post-match penalties following a hard-fought draw in regulation time and extra time.
The dunk of the game, somehow! If he can serve it from the spots in Ayoko! Brings the Eagles right. Oh, casual run up and the goalkeeper here. Mali to the quarterfinals.
Mali will now face Senegal in the quarterfinals. Frederick Mwoki for Sunday Express.
In the quarterfinals.
Duncan Omala struck twice as Nairobi United registered an impressive 3-1 victory over Shabana FC in a Football Kenya Federation FKF League match that was played Sunday afternoon at the Gusii Stadium. Omala opened the scoring for the Nai boys in the 18th minute before Enoch Mashaga added a second to make it 2-0. Omala scored the second of the match and a third for Nairobi United before Shabana scored one during stoppage time to make it 3-1. Following the win, Nairobi United now sits on the 9th position on the table with 19 points, while Shabana remain 4th with 23 points. In other results, Samuel Somo's lone goal helped AFC Leopards claim a 1-0 win or a 1-0 win over Bidco United.
Juu hii ni ligi kuu Kenya msimu mwaka 2025. Michael Karamor raia wa taifa la Nigeria apiga pasi kutafuta Michael Karamor, anaitaka Machaka, inapita kwake Duncan. Duncan Odhiambo Lodge anatanguliza my boys. Tafuta Michael Karamor, anaileta nani kwake Machaka, wameutia wenyewe kwenye nyavu. Pale kwake Michael Opela, anaileta yule wacha lakini roho umeipata my boys. Hospitali ni kupata matibabu. Sasa na nafasi ya kucheka na nyaku kwa mara nyingine.
The 2025 FKF Youth League regional finals have been staged across several parts of the country, with champions crowned in Mombasa, Turkana, Nakuru, Kakamega and Kisumu as the season nears its conclusion. In Mombasa, 3 champions were crowned, with Bandari Junior clinching the under-15 boys title, Ocean Stars emerging winners in the under-17 boys category, and Old Town Youth lifting the under-13 boys crown. The Turkana Regional Finals also concluded successfully, showcasing strong participation across both boys and girls competitions. Bunger Academy were crowned under-13 boys champions. Earth Movers claimed the under-15 boys title, while Turkana Warriors emerged winners in the under-15 girls category. In the Rift Valley Finals held in Nakuru, they saw Equip one of Nakuru West crowned under-13 champions, while ASEC Youth secured the under-15 title after competitive championship matches. The Kisumu Regional Finals wrapped up with a Fine Touch Academy winning the under-13 category, Kolala FC taking the under-18 title, and Awasi Oilers FC emerging champions in the under-17 category. Meanwhile, in Kakamega, the regional finals concluded with Shibuye crowned under-17 champions, Red Commandos claiming the under-15 title, and Shidodo Youth lifting the under-13 crown. Declan Rice scored twice as Arsenal narrowly beat Bournemouth 3-2 to go 6 points clear at the top of the English Premier League last night. Meanwhile, Wolves hammered West Ham 3-0 as Brighton claimed a 2-0 win over Burnley. Luke Littler produced a stunning display to thrash Gian Van Veen 7-1 and win the PDC World Championship for the second year running. The 18-year-old became just the 4th player to win the title in back-to-back years, joining Phil Taylor, Adrian Lewis and Gary Anderson in that elite group. His second victory in only his 3rd appearance at Alexandra Palace also means that only Taylor with 14 and Michael Van Gowen on 3 have more PDC World titles than Littler.
Spend more time with family, which is important, as we know.
Luke can't even throw a bad leg properly. What was that start at? Now he's ahead again, and he's up to win the title.
147. To win the World Darts Championship, Luke Littler goes back to back.
Dart for a third 12-dart leg, and that cost him winning to be up 2-0. Luke got out of that pickle and ran with it all the way to this 147 finish.
And off a fine sort of 3 weeks for him. He's been.
We wrap up Sunday Express. Thank you very much for your company. And of course, great thanks to the editorial and technical teams for the delivery. It's time for us now to wrap it up. Have yourself a fantastic night. Of course, as we begin a busy week, beginning tomorrow. God bless you and lead you. Good night.
Tushinde.com. Cheza safe, cheza smart. Gambling is addictive. not for persons under the age of 18 years.
Dosi amelala, sukuma moja. Wewe pia ndio muoga. Ndio maana Master Demi ilikupita. Demi haiko nipita bwana. Mimi najaza entry ticket zangu. Wewe hata unajua namba ya kusenda. Si ni star 419 hash. Option. Ni Probox. Bwana finya hiyo kitu. Mfinye. Finya hiyo kitu. Mfinye.